So, do you want to be successful? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be wealthy? Do you want to be a millionaire? Then, guys, there are five things that you must be and have in order to obtain such. So, we're going to get right into it. Number one, you have to be able to self educate. By self education, I mean reading every day or at least every week, hiring a mentor, becoming a part of a community of like-minded people that are plunging forward in the same ways that you are plunging forward in life. Guys, you have to be able to learn what you don't currently know. That is the reason why you are not as successful as you want to be right now, is because it's some information that you don't know. And you can't just look at one source. So reading a book may not be the only thing that you need to do. You also may need to get some education online, or you might need to get a mentor, that sort of thing. Coming in at number two, you have to be principle driven. Guys, you have to be able to live a principle driven life. There are principles that are at play when it comes to being successful and wealthy. And if you don't know what those principles are, then you're lacking. And so some of the principles are that you have to understand the law of karma. What you do to one will come back to you. Okay. You reap what you sow, in other words. Okay. What you plant in the ground comes back up a little bit later, and it comes back more bountifully than what you planted. And so that principle that I'm talking about is basically saying that whatever I plant, it will grow back up and give me many versions of what I planted. So if I plant something good, then guess what? I will have a plethora of great things, good things that are going to shower me in the future. And so, and it's a lot of other principles, but you have to live a principle driven life to be successful. And then one of the other things, the third thing is you have to have emotional intelligence. Okay. A lot of us are just going through life and we want to react off of what we feel. I feel a certain way, so I'm going to act a certain way. And what that causes, it causes you to plant seeds that are not necessarily healthy for your future. And then when the future gets here, then you complain about that. And then now you're putting even more negative seeds in the ground, right? And then now, before you know it, you're living a life of just negative outcomes and just a whirlwind of things that you don't want to identify with. And so at the end of the day, you have to understand that emotional intelligence will be able to tell you, hey, listen, I know you're going through a storm right now. I know it's a tough time, but if you look at it positively and you see the signs underneath all of the toil and the storms, then guess what? It's going to get brighter for you at the end of the tunnel. And then what you're doing at that point is you're planting positive seeds, and you have a positive outlook on life, and therefore your future will give you positive aspects of it. Okay. So I can talk all day about that. Number four is you have to be able to take criticism. Okay. Um, we used to say, you have to be able to take constructive criticism, but I've changed that because if it's constructive, it may not feel like it's constructive. And with you developing emotional intelligence, you need to be able to take all criticism. Everybody's not going to criticize you in a heavenly way. Okay. They're not going to criticize you in a constructive way. But if somebody's criticizing you, not constructive, but positive, meaning that something that you know that you really need to work on. See, the universe will tell you need to work on things before somebody else tell you. So when somebody else tell you and you're being real with yourself because you have what emotional intelligence, then what happens then is you begin to look at that criticism as fuel to be able to chisel out the person, the best version of yourself. You're chiseling out those things that are not for you. You're etching out those things that are being negative and counterproductive. And then you get into the realm of seeing all criticism that is positive as what it really is, and that is positive feedback from another person outside yourself. Coming in at number five, last but not least, you have to have discipline. I see a lot of people that say they want to be successful, but they can't go to bed at a certain time at night, or they can't wake up without an alarm, and they hit snooze five or six times before they get up. I see people that say that they want to be successful, but they can't stop eating the foods that they know they need to stop eating in order to be healthy. Guys, if you don't have discipline in these small areas, then you won't have discipline when you get money, and so you won't ever be successful or rich. Period. So, guys, you have to live a disciplined life in order to get to the next level. right? There's something in the church that says if you be faithful over a few things, God will make you ruler over many. And that principle is true. In other words, if you can't take care of the food that you're eating, you can't take care of the body, you can't go to sleep on time, you can't stop indulging in something that is working against you, then how are you going to be able to be wealthy and successful? How are you going to coach 300 other people in your organization? How are you going to lead other people to making six figures and you're making seven figures? Or how are you going to lead other people to making seven figures and you're making eight figures if you can't even put a Twinkie down? If you can't put the cupcake down, right? If you can't take the sugar out of your diet. So discipline starts at the fundamental level and then it matriculates up. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to share those principles with you guys. I love you guys. I really want you guys to be successful. But remember, in order to get the success, you have to work on yourself. And so all five of these things are all self-inflicted. All right. You have to be able to go within in order to have riches on the outside. As so within, so without. Love you, family.